please.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Hunter, would you lead us in prayer, please? There.
Dear precious Heavenly Father, we thank you for this day that you have given us, Lord. I just ask that you be with this board and the members as we conduct the business for our town, dear Lord. I pray that we do it in a manner that is pleasing and that will benefit our community, Lord. We just ask that you watch over us and guide us and protect us. In Christ's name we pray. Amen.
I think everybody's had a chance to pretty much look over the minutes. If you have, I need a motion to approve the minutes, please.
Make a motion.
Got a motion and a second. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Any opposed? Okay, next we do have on here to approve the agenda, but I think according to statute now, we're actually supposed to have public comments about items that are just on the agenda, nothing outside of what's on the agenda. So at this time, I would entertain a motion to not approve the agenda at this point without changing it to include the comments from the public about agenda items only.
Make a motion we move to public discussion.
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye. Any opposed? Thank you. I forgot to tell Melissa that I've gotten something, we need to change that. At this time, if there's anyone in the public that actually has a comment about any of the items that's just on the agenda for tonight's meeting, we will entertain those comments at this time. Yes, sir.
So I can ask a question about the water department?
Yes, sir.
Okay. This is up through November, and the water department, so months, right?
Are you talking about the financial statement?
Yes, I am.
Uh-huh.
And my question is, and we've had the new rates since July, is that right?
July 1st, yes,
Since
sir.
July 1st. How many months out of the five, is that right? July, August, September, October, November. How many months out of five did the water department make money?
I know they did this one, like, and this one, 2 or 3 maybe? It's starting to catch up.
So you don't know, really?
No, I said 2 or 3. It's
2
2
or
or
3.
3, yes, sir. I know that the one that I just did for December does, and this one did. I cannot remember about October. I don't know about October, but that's why I say 2 or 3. But it took a minute for it to catch up.
Oh, let's see, one more. And it has to do, I guess it's water. Were we be discussing the status of the cover for the water, the digger? Shed that you're gonna build for the digger? Are you gonna be discussing that?
We've already gotten bids on that, yes, sir.
When they gonna build it?
Williams talked to him today. I think the trusses came today. He's waiting for it to warm up a little bit.
Okay.
Get close, it just
weather problem.
Yeah, I mean, trust came in today.
Yeah, but who will work out there for 10-degree weather?
One last thing, and I'll go.
Oh, no, that's fine.
Still on the water department.
Yes, sir.
When, I'm trying to ask this. When do you think you'll start trying to reduce our rates? I know they're increased, and they haven't been increased long, but are you even thinking about trying to get an advocate maybe with the state to try to get some relief on the water rate?
Okay, on the rate increases, if you remember on the water rate study, they went out several years with a 3% increase to offset really Selmer's increase, although I think really Selmer's increase was 5.25% instead of 3%. So we're still behind what they are increasing. But we can't change them ourselves because we're under that court order.
Well, I guess what I'm saying is, if you started making money, and quite a bit of money, and you should sometime, surely pretty soon, would you then try to submit a request to kind of ease off on the rate?
We could talk to the comptroller's office about that, and it's really not even up to them, it's really up to the Tennessee Board of Utility
Well,
Regulations.
whoever it's up to.
Yeah,
Would you be seeking somebody to advocate for that reduction, or would you be doing it yourself?
I would be doing
seeking
it.
help, say, from some politician, or anything like that to help the city of Hornsby to get it reduced?
I would contact the comptroller's office myself.
You would?
Well, I would talk to
You
Mr. Fontenot.
you don't think you need any help to advocate for the city as far as our rates?
I don't think the Tennessee Board of Utility Regulations is gonna be influenced by any politician.
You don't think so?
No, sir, I don't.
Okay.
I
That's
mean,
all.
I really don't. You might, somebody in the comptroller's office, but I don't think the board would be influenced.
That's all I know.
Okay, anyone else have any comments about anything on the agenda? Okay, if not, then, motion to, yes, sir. Got a motion to approve the agenda, need a second? Got a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Any opposed? Okay, next Ben is,
I don't really have much. Have you heard anything from the 911? Have you heard anything from the 911 board the last few weeks?
I got a call from Bobby Wright. And there's supposed to be a meeting Thursday night. From what he told me, there's gonna be a meeting, they're trying to get the county to pay $300,000 a year and have the 911 board to pick up the remainder of the expense. He, actually, I've even talked to a few of the county commissioners that were pretty upset because there were Christmas bonuses that were given out. And, because the county employees got basically nothing, they thought it was pretty uneven. So their feeling is, according to Bobby Wright, until 911 board has to put some skin in the game, it's never gonna get better. So that's why he wants the county to pay $300,000 and then let 911 pick up the remainder. They have asked that to do this, that all the towns catch up and pay. I talked to the mayor of Middleton, and Mayor Mott paid his with the assumption that this was gonna go forward and take place, that they were gonna, after this year, get the cities out of getting these bills to cover Christmas bonuses or whatever.
Okay. So that's gonna be addressed, is that gonna be at the county commission meeting?
It will. I mean, I've talked to, like I said, some of the commissioners. I haven't had a chance to talk to Russell, but Bobby Wright actually called and contacted me about it because he was pretty upset about the Christmas bonuses and the raise, and just felt like, 911 had to start picking up some of it, or we would be forever getting increased bills.
Okay, perfect. You just wait and see what happens then? And then
I would rather not pay it. I mean, I would rather have a commitment that if Thursday night, when that meeting takes place, that it looks definite that this is gonna get the monkey off our back. I'd rather have the approval that we go ahead and pay it and be done with it, because that's what Bobby said, you know, they're wanting. They're wanting the towns to step up and say, we will pay it this year. And if we're gonna get out from under all of it, I'd like to have that approval, but if that's not gonna take place, then
They've already specifically said the idea is to hold us harmless moving forward.
moving forward.
Okay.
Oh, I mean, it's not, because they're gonna get it from us through taxes or whatever. I mean, they're gonna increase property taxes, there's no doubt about that, because, I mean, where else is the county gonna come up with that money? But
Okay.
it's, you know, I mean, we can't even take care of our own employees, really. It's hard for us to find someone to work in that office, because we can't pay them any money. And we're getting nice Christmas bonuses.
Okay. Are you planning on going to that meeting yourself?
I am.
Okay. Would you please text me how that goes, because I know that I won't be able to make it. And just so everybody else knows, I can't communicate with y'all outside, like in any group manner without breaking the law. So oftentimes I try to keep it just with one person, so I'm not just openly breaking the law from Tennessee Open Meetings Act. So if you could let me know, that would be wonderful, and I'll proceed accordingly. Was there ever any discussion with y'all about me going back to Bolivar for the police cars?
Actually, Hickory Valley is voting on that tonight, and I should know something later tonight about whether Hickory Valley is buying that or not, because they're gonna basically take both vehicles.
Great.
Because they want the old Crown Vic for parts, so hopefully that'll take care of both of those and get them.
Okay, perfect. Is there anything specifically that anybody here knows that they may want to ask of me tonight? Because usually I stay, but tonight I need to go back and help my wife, and I've got some work I need to do for court in the morning, so I might dip out a little early. I'm not going to bill anything for this month either until we decide moving forward what the payment arrangement with me is going to be like, and I'll get to that in a second. But is there anything that y'all know that you would want to ask of me? Anybody?
I don't really know of anything. I mean, the only thing that was really pressing with you, and if things like they're falling apart with 911, you know, I'll be
Sure.
contacting you back. Because we still have no definite answers on whether we're paying double as city citizens, county citizens, because everybody you talk
I
to,
think
a
we-
different story. You know, everybody tells you a different story.
I think we've been double dipped.
I do too. And,
I don't think anybody wants to admit that, but I believe that's been the case.
I think that's correct. I mean, then we're also told we're billed according to calls, then we're told we're billed according to population, you know, so, it's just, we just don't have answers.
Okay. Well, can you keep me posted on
I
what
will.
happens with Hickory Valley as well? It's anybody. And also, just so we've got new faces, I want to kind of reiterate what my payment arrangement is, and I want it to be very fair to my neighbors. So what the arrangement was a year ago is Ms. Joe and some other people wanted me to come to these meetings, and I feel like I've been helpful because we've had a lot of issues over the last year. But the way I see it, y'all are my bosses, and I certainly am striving to be fair to my neighbors with the hourly rate that I was given. Some months I didn't work more than an hour or two, which would include coming here. A few months I've worked more than the 4 hours that have been quoted, but at the end of the day, I don't want to be paid by my neighbors for not doing work. So what other towns do is pay somebody like a minimal amount a month, like $100, $50, whatever. And then at that point, if they really need to engage in my services or another attorney's services for a certain number of times, then they bill by the hour, whatever that number may be. I've been billing at $125 an hour for 4. Put that into context for what Sessions, who was my predecessor, I should say, he's been billing at $500 an hour. I mean, I'm not trying to use this as my get-rich-quick scheme to begin with, but even then, I feel like some months I've been being paid for things that I haven't been provided. So if y'all just on your end, just chew on what you think you might want me to do. I know that some people wanted me to come to these meetings, and there have been a lot of issues, and frankly, I feel like for the first year has been pretty fair. We've had all kinds of issues come up. It's been fun. I've learned a lot, honestly. What's that?
And they worked out, we got the check.
Yeah. So this is all kind of a new area for me, and it's been really interesting to learn. So I'm really, whatever you guys want to steer me to go do, I'll do it. So just chew on what it is you'd like for me to do, and we'll go forward from there. So no, I won't bill for this month. I haven't really done much either. So hopefully we'll have some clarity once the 911 thing is resolved. I don't think there's anything else on the horizon really for me to do. So
Not unless we run into something with this water stuff. And William and I are gonna be at Western, so you can visit us out there to get the info.
tomorrow,
Maybe, it could be.
I'm gonna be there in the morning.
You do it 6:03, 6:04? No, I mean, it's been a nightmare, but hopefully we're gonna stay out of Western.
Okay, I see what you're saying. Well, good luck. So I'm gonna go help my wife get my pregnant wife get my son to bed, and I got some more work to do for Western that I actually have to go to, but I don't think they're gonna keep me. So,
You never know.
no. Okay, so nice to talk with y'all. Just chew on what I said about what you want me to do as far as my services go. I have no ill will, no matter what y'all decide to do, and I look forward to hearing from you.
All right, thanks, William.
Y'all have a good evening.
Okay, 911 bill we just discussed. From talking to Mayor Mott, I mean, Middleton did go ahead and pay. I talked to Jackie Kelly. They have a whole different attitude about it. But there has been so little clarity and transparency with this because, I mean, everybody we ask, we get different answers. I know Michael Jones was here and he said they were doing it by population, and if you lived in the city, you were cut out of the county check. But then I've been told, yeah, you're actually paying taxes, city and county, that's going to 911. And it's by calls, so we keep getting different answers. But I agree with Bobby Wright, until they have to ante up some money themselves, they're gonna continue to do raises or bonuses or whatever. And the whole purpose with Todd because he and I talked about this before they did it, of putting people on the board from every town, was to speak up for those towns. And I think we have really gotten taken advantage of. I mean, it's very annoying when you can pay somebody $12 an hour to put up with what you put up with in that water office. And it's hard to find somebody, but we are supplementing raises and Christmas bonuses and everything that we can't do for our own employees. I don't think it's right, and I am totally opposed to it. So, Bobby has asked that if things work out where it looks like everything is gonna transfer off of us, that we go ahead and pay that, how much, $4,000? Right, close to $5,000 for this year. And then have it off of us after this year. So I think Curtis Lane has finally paid for Grand Junction, Jackie Kelly, because they have that tower over there. And she says the county uses their tower, they have to keep it up, and she doesn't agree that they should have to pay because they had lightning strike the tower and then they had to pay to fix that tower. And I understand her position, but it's your decision. What do y'all think about it? I mean, they keep threatening to cut us off, and Bobby said he thought it would be a foolish thing for them to do, but.
Is this, 911 when it was set up, is this supposed to be run by the county?
I think at one time it was, but this.
Why do they got most biggest percentage of the people that works over, works for the city of Baldwin?
I can't answer that. I mean, I don't even know how many people work over there, because I've asked, and I've never gotten a solid answer.
Keeping it all a secret or something, don't know behind it.
Well, for what information we got, Ben had to do, yeah, he had to file Freedom of Information Act to get it. Grand Junctions had to do it, Middleton's had to do it, Toone's had to do it. It's just a mess.
I don't think it's doing something illegal. What it sounds like it is. I don't know about that.
But I've asked how many employees, how many full-time employees, how many part-time employees. I've asked all kinds of questions and like I said, like, what do you base our cost that you're asking us on? And you get different answers from everybody you ask, so. I'm just looking for the magic person that actually knows the answers to it all. But I mean, I was told that there was a $500 Christmas bonus. That's true. But all us towns are getting billed. And that's what I'm saying, we can't get Christmas bonuses, we can't even get pay raises, but we're helping support $500 Christmas bonuses. There's nothing fair about that. So,
I mean, I don't want to cut the service off.
no. But if something doesn't get worked out, we can't just keep paying more and more and more every year. Especially when we can't get a real answer to anything. But, Middleton said they paid because they felt definite that this would take place, that the $300,000 would come from the county and that the 911 would have to cover the rest of the expense for their budget. But you know how it is, until something's voted and passed, you don't know.
So will we pay it this year and we can see what happens next year?
There's not an agency in the state oversees it now. And they have to oversee everything else, but they have to go with that.
I think their oversight is their board. And that was why Todd was putting people from every town on the board, is so you would have somebody to speak up and advocate for your town and community. Pay it this year.
And see what happens. I mean, we don't want service cut off. And, you know, that's what I said last time when we paid it, was pay it and see what happens, and we're still stuck with what we got. But if we can get, if it goes, and the county pays it, that would be a benefit to us. But, kind of like this, we probably need to pay it.
I think if the county has to pay it, that they're gonna be able to have more control than what we, I mean, because I don't care what we say, they don't care about us. They would be threatening to cut us off if they really cared about us, if you wanna know the truth. But I think they might have their feet held to the fire a little better if it's all coming from the county as opposed to all us little towns. Because I really don't think they care about us as far as our towns. I mean, I'm like the other mayors, they wouldn't keep threatening to cut us off, cut us off, cut us off. They don't care about us, they don't care about our citizens, they care about our money. So, I mean, you wanna make that into a motion to pay this year?
Make a motion to pay it this year and, get that off paid.
Second.
Got a motion and a second, since it is spending money, we'll do a roll call vote.
Ms. Cross?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, motion passed, so we will go ahead and pay that. On the police car, Hickory Valley is supposed to be voting tonight. Bobby said he'd send me a text just as soon as they voted on that. He seemed pretty positive that they would be taking the car, the Explorer, the radio, and the radar, so, all of it. So hopefully we'll hear from Bobby. The next item is our ARPA funds update. And I guess really Melissa has the most information on that as far as what we've got left and what we've spent. Yeah, Melissa.
Well, that, yeah.
Well, we just keep bringing it back.
I was just, yeah. So we're gonna spend $10,000 on the culvert, $6,000 for the software, $8,000 for the backhoe, and then $3,000 match for the T-Deck water grants. And that will cover our 28.
So is there any questions about any of that? William, have you checked, you haven't checked on any culverts or anything, we're still waiting yet?
I said, wait.
And you do it well. Yeah, he does, he minds.
The pothole patch is back.
I saw that. I would actually walk back there
You
because,
gonna put it out?
no. I'm too old for that. Yeah, George would do that. I actually walked back there because, for some reason, when did you clean all that stuff up for public entity partners for the insurance company? When did you clean that bird nest out? It hasn't been that long ago.
It was this summer, wasn't
It was back in the summer because we had to fix it where we could get to the, they wanted 3 foot to the main back there or something. There's,
Well, the bad news is they were supposed to come tomorrow to look through again and make a list. The good news is the guy got sick and he won't be here.
good.
But he'll be here probably one day next week. And I thought it was like, really soon for him to be back, but he will be here to look over everything to see if he can find something. Do
You're
what?
probably gonna fuss about something in there because they fussed about it didn't have a walk, it had a walkway for the main breaking or something.
I don't know, I'm sure he'll find a list.
Oh, yeah. We gotta work to put it.
No, we don't. That's
We
true.
have a job, we didn't find something.
That's right.
But it'll probably be next week. He was actually supposed to be here at 9 in the morning, and he really did get sick and canceled out. The next thing is our general fund CD maturity, and Melissa knows about that.
Okay, it matures on January the 9th, and CBNS gave me 2 quotes for $385 for 6 months, or $360 for 12 months. I just need to know how y'all would like to renew it. $385 for 6 months, or $360 for 12 months.
Joe's over here calculating.
I figured she was.
Oh, yeah, we do it. We do it 6 hours.
Yeah, we'll have to renew it.
Did we do it 6 months last time, Melissa, or 12?
I'm pretty sure we did it 6 months because we had to go change everything. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was 6 months, because it was a higher rate.
Yeah.
Because we just did it this summer.
So it's been 6. Yeah, it's not much.
That's not bad here.
Well, it was $385 for 6 months. I'd go for 6 months, if I can go up again, 6 months. Then you can renew it again, it go up.
Is that a motion?
We might have to make a year. I might
now we're down to the nightmare, the water department.
I don't know about that.
Yeah, we do. On the TDEC grant, we're pretty well about to maybe sometime finish the first phase up. William's saying no.
I don't know.
I will say this, our new person, Jana Hardwick, bless her heart, it's been a nightmare. I think William will tell you, it has been trying for the last 2 months, especially this last month, it's been really bad. The meters are basically all in. I think you maybe have one that needs to be changed out that they missed. Or I think they put it in the wrong place.
No, it was one that's gotta be added, that we added on.
Okay.
It wasn't the process of everything, It's a new customer.
Okay, I thought maybe Jeanette's. This already been swapped out.
No,
First, okay.
Jeanette's took care of it.
Okay.
Or took care of all
So pretty much the meters are in. William went out today and rode with Andy Bain at Ford Main. They read meters. So he's learning how to do that.
that. Oh,
The problem we had is when these meters got changed out, it created a nightmare. Because they asked us to read meters November 1st. William and Raymond read November 1st. All the meters were changed out at different times. Like mine had 6 days of reading on it. There's meters that have basically nearly 30 days on it. So when the bills went out, some people had basically nothing on that bill. And then there's some of the people that had what would be a normal water bill for a month. But what I wish QS1 had not done is they took the reading off of the old meter when they got swapped out. And they entered on their end remotely that amount as carryover consumption. That carryover consumption got so messed up. It would actually do like that reading, including that $34 basic rate. But then on a lot of the accounts, it would go and add that $34 basic rate again. So it was overcharging people. We have worked, I cannot tell you the number of hours trying to straighten bills out. And I got a call today about the one at Walnut Grove Church. Carrie Smalley called. She said, I know we don't owe $102. And I looked and they had 100 gallons of usage carryover consumption. But it had added 34, 34, 34. So they had gotten that basic rate 3 times on that one bill. So of course there's another bill that's got to be adjusted. We have done so much adjusting. I don't think things are gonna level off with these bills till probably March. I think we're gonna have to go through a couple readings, and as we find these mistakes, we're gonna have to make adjustments and try to fix them, because like where they read meters and they wrote in the route books, if, say, they read it and the numbers rounded up, say 1248, and maybe the guys who were just putting meters in looked at it and they thought, no, that's a 1247, and they put 1247. Well, when that got entered into the system, it just screwed QS1 totally up, because it's saying you cannot go backward with your reading. So even though it might just be one number, when it went backward, then it just starts putting 99999 all the way across, and it's charging people for 900-something thousand gallons of water. So we had one bill this weekend we were looking at, and by the time it added what it was reading in the system from QS1, that bill was over $7 million. So, I mean, it has, when I say it has been a nightmare, I cannot tell you how stressed I've been.
It'll afford a couple of years.
And see, there's a rate decrease, right? So, I mean, there's still mistakes. Our books, I think our water department account it's gonna look bad because we're not, it's like I told Melissa, like when we ran the 10 tab report, some of these accounts had 34 twice on those accounts, so we probably paid more sales tax than we should have. But there's nothing we can do about it. It's just a mess, and it's gonna take a lot of work to get it straightened out. They read today, the problem, and this is a problem, is Andy came in and he sent the stuff to the cloud from his tablet when they got through. Well, then that goes to Camstrup, who is their meter people, and they do whatever they do, then they have to export it over to QS1. We cannot get that stuff ourselves and do it. Like, say at Grand Junction, when they do their meter reading, Ransom comes in with his tablet, he downloads it straight into Pam's computer. And she just goes in and clicks those accounts and she just does their bill. It's not a big issue. But QS1, we can't do that. We have to let them export it and we have to import it on our machine. And they charge us for that. I've asked, and I can't get an amount from them on what they're charging us for it. So I talked to Pam a while ago and she said, and I've emailed Andy Bain and asked him if there's a way they can give us a printout of those readings y'all did today. And if they can do that, let us manually enter those into QS1 and they will be far more accurate. Because otherwise we're gonna just have a repeat of what we just went through with all these double billings and, you know, misconstruing like the numbers and everything. If we can manually enter those like we would if we were using the route books, I think it would cut out a whole lot of this. But it just depends if we can do that or not. But I'm gonna tell you, it's a nightmare. We are a long way from getting these accounts straightened out. And fortunately, 99% of the people have been very nice and understanding about it, but that's gonna last so long. They're gonna be like, can't you get your act together? And, you know, Pam and I have been down here to midnight. I'm telling you, it's not been fast, it's not been easy. And I'm certainly open to any suggestions if somebody has a suggestion how to make it better. I mean, it's a nightmare.
But it should get better when you go over to local government.
Local gov,
We can get to that point.
Are they any closer to getting all that switched over?
well, what they have been waiting on is to do a sample billing. And we've been in the process of all this meter change out. So Pam and I worked Sunday after church. And we sent a lot more stuff over to Sandy. So I'm gonna talk to Sandy tomorrow. She said, we can get you changed over if you do this. And I said, okay, if we do what? And she said, if y'all just do a $34 bill, which is exactly what we were trying to do last month. But it had all that carryover consumption that QS1 had entered into the machine. But she was talking about doing a $34, you know, our base rate, and just do that and just write everything off. And I said, oh no, we can't do that. I mean, there's no way we can write off all that water usage because we still have to pay for that water. So, we've got to somehow get this stuff in the system and get it straightened out. I don't know what it's gonna take other than, like I'm saying, if we can do it manually and then get over to local gov. I'm hoping she can use what we sent Sunday, because we just can't do a $34 rate for everybody and just let it go. I mean, there's just absolutely no way that can happen, but I am certainly open to any suggestions because it's a problem. George hadn't even seen me. He didn't even see me Christmas, really.
He don't want to straighten us out.
That could be, but I tell you what, I've been really tired and really ill, and you know, the thing is, Pam's are short down there, and then she's working all weekend here, and if we leave here at midnight, then she's back here the next day, or she's down at Grand Junction by 7:30 the next morning, is, you know, it's not a good situation for her, it's not a good situation for anybody, but now we're gonna let Jana do all this. But seriously, I'm hoping Andy will tell us that we can do that. If we can manually do this, I think it will straighten some of this out. And they can do a sample billing with local gov, and maybe we can get transferred over and get out from under QS1, because we just paid QS1 basically $3,000, what, 29 something? And that's gonna hold us to the end of January. So, I mean, they're bleeding us pretty bad. And that's not even billing us for all this extra work they've done with Camstra. So, they're pretty pricey for us to deal with. But like I said, if y'all got any ideas or suggestions, I'm certainly open to them, because we've been beating our head against the brick wall. So, if people start complaining to you, we're doing all we can do, I'm telling you. So, anything else on the water department?
Have you sent out anything to let everybody know that?
It's on the bills. Yeah, we put it on the bills, and I posted on Facebook. I just hope we can get this billing done and it
We
gets
didn't
straight.
rerun twice today, did you? I didn't see Joe, he said you pulled up and you backed up.
He wouldn't catch it.
That's what I
You had
thought.
to
I
stop.
thought it probably didn't catch
He
it.
didn't catch it.
I thought, well, you really ran twice.
I know
He
You want to
afforded
get that $7 million bill?
Yeah.
Well, and the other thing, he's got his tablet, we haven't charged, I don't think he's even got the battery in it yet. But Andy was talking about, we really need to get a data plan on that tablet, because if, like William's here, when he gets ready to go out and read, then it will bring up a map, and it's like little blue dots for every meter. But if he gets out in the field and he needs to go back and look at some history or something on that meter, because maybe that meter is showing really high, and he needs to go back and look at what last month was, then he's gonna lose his connection. So, for him to get his map back, he's gonna have to come back to City Hall, or he can get on Wi-Fi to get that map back. So it's not gonna cost that much for a data plan, so we need to get some data on his tablet. So if he's out in the field, he goes back somewhere in the system to look up last month's usage or whatever he needs to look up, then he can get his map back up with his little blue dots so that he can read all the meters. So, that's gonna be an expense, but it's not gonna be a big expense. It's just really necessary for him to
It really
correctly
needs
do it,
it.
yeah.
It really needs it today.
Do what? I don't think we really need a motion for that, just because it's not gonna probably be $20 a month, so it's not gonna be very much, but it's just something we need to do for the system to work right. Street department, as William said, the patch mix is back there. You'll do it tomorrow, okay? Hunter's gonna be working tomorrow.
I'll unlock the door for you.
We'll put that out at the snow melt.
And fill them holes in.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Thinking maybe up here from Bob. Fire department,
We don't have anything.
nothing?
No, ma'am.
We need to come on truck then.
Yeah, I do want to mention, because I have seen several other mayors and different people have talked to me. I rode in the fire truck on the Ball for Christmas parade, and I learned a lot of stuff. Of course, I asked like 2,100 million questions, I think, about wore Hunter out, but one of the things that has come up that we've talked about is we don't have that many sets of turnout here.
No way.
And what happens is we've got people like Hunter Tosh and different ones that volunteer with other fire departments. So when they respond to fires for Hornsby, they're actually using another town's gear. And I know the other mayors allow it, they're not really happy about it, and I understand myself where they would be coming from, because if there's a liability issue with something happening, I don't want somebody that's got Hornsby Fire Department doing something at Toon, and they're going, oh yeah, that's them, so we'll sue them. Or if something happens to that turnout gear and it's destroyed, or something happens to it, gets lost in all the mayhem, is not on us if they lose Toon's turnout gear or something happens to it. So one of the things I think we need to work toward is getting more of our own gear so that our firemen are not actually depending on other towns to furnish turnout gear. Because it's really a liability, and it's an expense on the other town, because, and I didn't tell you this one, but Hunter had James to come by and pick his gear up after the Toon parade, and James laid the helmet on the car or truck, and he left and he was driving off, and then he remembered, oh my gosh, I put that helmet on the truck and he had lost it on the road, and he got it. It wasn't hurt, but I mean, things happen, and you know, that's Toon's equipment. So I think that they've talked about doing some fundraising, and we've got to work on getting some more gear for us.
And we applied for the fire marshal's grant back in November. I should get the email on it sometime toward the end of this month on whether we get it or not.
So what is the status of the tanker truck?
That is still on hold. It's been kicked back and forth between the committee and the commission, and I think they just decided to drop it until a later point in this year.
So nobody's going anywhere with that truck right now?
No.
The brush truck out here, are we going to get that up and running and the tires and everything put on it?
Yes, ma'am. That's the plan. It warmed up a little bit, me and us, and we're gonna come down here and clean up, try to get the tires on it and get it back running.
Okay. We picked up all the Christmas decorations, and I know what we've been calling the shrimp ones are in front of that old truck. We need to get those hung back up. But since public entity partners will be probably coming in next week, if there's anything that you walk through and you see that's something they could write us up over, we need to kind of get that in line before they get here, because I think they have a pen they like to write. So if you would do that. So if there's nothing else on fire, public discussion. Anybody got anything on public discussion? Do it. Oh yeah, I saw it. I'll say this, we're glad to have Jana. I mean, Lord knows it needs somebody younger than Pam and me in that water office, because we done got old, tired. William, bless his heart, he has, after having knee replacement, I mean, we've tested him working, checking meters, checking leaks, because we've had a problem with these meters leaking. So, he has really done an extremely good job of trying to keep things going. If it'd been me, I'd say, I just had knee replacement surgery, don't call me. I'm not gonna do it, but that's just me. But if there's nothing else, I'd entertain a motion to adjourn.
Make a motion to adjourn.
Okay. Got a motion and second, all those in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed? We will see you February 4th.